Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Radiant Black podcast, a show that talks about Radiant Black and all things Massiveverse, the universe created by Kyle Higgins and Marcelo Costa. Today, I am with my fellow co-hosts and friends, Bash, Matt, and Charlie. How are you guys?
Doing great. Dead lucky. Got an extra day of summer, and I feel dead lucky. It's just to be here talking about such a fantastic series. Well, the fourth one in the Massiveverse. So yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy week. We had well, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but we finally had that IGR announcement come out, so that's been kind of exciting. Fan Expo last week, so it's been kind of a crazy week for me. And yeah, always awesome to kind of come on here and talk about a great book. How are you doing, Bash?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, Dead Lucky. It's always fun to talk Dead Lucky, and today we've got matching brand colors because I got the everyone's squares to be purple, so we're Dead Lucky purple. And yeah, it's ended on a cliffhanger last time. Lots to talk about this time, but before we get started, there's been a few things I want to mention. Well, we're in a super massive versus drought right now. Oh my god, like there's no issues coming out. So if you're wondering why there's no podcast, it's because there's delays all over the place. So unfortunately, that means there's going to be fewer episodes, but fortunately, the guys have come up with some great ideas. We're going to do a Radiant Black newsletter for our patrons, and more details on that soon, but this has been a lot of fun to work on. But in terms of episodes, we've also got that fan cast thing that we've been talking about, which will come out soon. So yeah, it's going to suck having no Massiveverse issues to podcast about for the next while, but it's going to be exciting filling that void with Massiveverse ideas, episodes and ideas and everything. So can't wait to do that.
Honestly, not to usher it into existence, but we're just lucky there's not like a comic artist and comic writer strike going on. Like the video games are spreading. Like I probably just brought it into existence. Not bad. I mean, fight for your rights. We're not getting paid. Go for it. I'm willing to deal with the drought. We'll just get creative for a couple of years here. But yeah, a drought. But it's better to have a drought than to have a bunch of issues that are a bunch of bummers. So Ryan said the reason with no Rogue Sun is because he's been moving. So that's understandable and stuff like that. But drought's better than bad books in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. Just can't wait for them to come back, and when they do, we'll release some banger episodes with those for sure. So yeah.
Yeah, gonna come soon enough.
October until then. But yeah, Kickstarter. Thank you for bringing that up. Just gotta spotlight that real quick, guys. Please check out the Kickstarter for Inferno Girl Red Book 2. It's a much bigger goal this time around, and deservedly so. I mean, we want to make sure everybody gets paid around. We want to have a lot of things to tinker with, and so far the reward tiers have been incredible. So if you really were excited, if you were bummed out about missing Inferno Girl Red Book 1 Kickstarter, well, there's good news for you. This time you have your chance to getting involved with the Kickstarter for Book 2, and if you really want the Kickstarter edition for Book 1 and you missed it, you can get it as a bonus add-on for Book 2 when you support it. So there you go. Make sure you check it out. Support Matt Groom, Erica Durso, Igor Monti, Michael Basudel, and I think Kyle was even the editor last time. So everyone involved, all these incredible Massiveverse creators, this is their baby. We all backed it. Like the social media has been blowing up. Yeah, we all backed it. So check that out. We're super excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm like 603. Oh yeah. Sorry, Charles.
No, I was just saying. I think the top tier. I was dying. It's super cool. Like you can pay to get yourself drawn into the book, which is super cool. A little out of my price range, but I think that's just a super cool option to even have that on there. And yeah, I love that for sure.
Even if you don't pay, it's impossible not to get drawn into the book. I mean, Inferno Girl Red was a freaking banger. Like we didn't oversell a thing about it. Like nobody, I haven't heard a negative word about Inferno Girl Red, and for good reason. Like the quality's there, the art. Igor Monti's colors are always going to stick in your head. And Erica is an amazing artist and one to follow. And Matt Groom's writing it sticks with you. It like burrows into your soul and in a good way. Like it's really exceptional. So I was excited to be able to back that and redeem myself and to have my book in there. It's like being in the memorial, in the BVS memorial where with Superman's grave where all the Snyder fans get to be in there, right? It's nice to, just be a part of history.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know like we all regretted not backing the first one, so I wasn't gonna make the same mistake twice.
Yeah. And I also I don't know if what was the posters in one of your mentions too. I don't know about that, Bash, but I don't know if we even mentioned it on here, but I know I talked
Oh
about it. I was
yeah.
talking with the guys over at the Geek Ultimate Alliance the other day, and I kind of told them like, oh, these posters are kind of out there now, and right, they didn't even see it on the newsletter, so right away they went out and bought some. So yeah, if anyone's been wanting one of those San Diego Comic-Con posters, the ones from last year, even this year, the little off-color one with the more yellow and orangey colors, they're all on the black market narrative site. I believe they're still all up there
Nice.
at a very reasonable price too. So yeah, go get those. Those are some of the best posters out there for sure. They're awesome.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, they're really cheap. I remember seeing like they were like $20 or something.
Yeah,
And
I was shocked. Yeah.
yeah, you can get all of them. So if you missed them out, if you missed them last year and this time around, you couldn't go to SDCC like we couldn't. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Dead Lucky number 8. Let's give you the creative team here first before we dive into things. So we've got writer and co-creator Melissa Flores, artist, I guess, French Carlomagno, and colorist Mattia Iacono, and letter, of course, Becca Carey. Sorry, just don't have all the names, super not clear. Yeah, so Dead Lucky number 8. We ended the last issue on a cliffhanger where we found out that Pyre's ghost. So that left us with a lot of questions naturally, like if Pyre is ghost, then who's the ghost that's with Bibi? This issue, we're going to get some answers. Let's dive in.
Yeah, first of all, I love the background kind of you got going for us here. Sweet cover, like just yeah, awesome cover, kind of just showing their two powers going at it, and yeah, this issue we really get a lot of insane revelations and just finally getting some more look into BB's past, and that was super exciting to look at. But yeah, Pyre was just such an awesome character. I'm a huge fan of him, and yeah, I have so many more questions. I'll say going out of this issue, it's insane.
Yeah, and I think the issue definitely raises more questions than answers, right? Because it left us on a cliffhanger. I came in thinking like finally we get to learn more about this character, which we do. Then he's pretty awesome, but there's definitely a lot more questions left.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally
What do
thought
you
he was
guys?
just going to be a shift henchman or something. Like I thought
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
me too.
just had
Me
some cool
too.
tech, but no, just making him this crucial to BB's character is super exciting for the whole series.
I forget where we
I
ranked
love
him,
how
but he's
the
definitely
first.
rising the ranks. Sorry, Ali, go for it.
No, I was just his first was like you look like you see the ghost, which is it's perfect.
Yeah. No, for
Yeah,
sure.
I can't not think of Uncle Aaron. I mean, he has the same facial hair and stuff like that, but like it's hard
Yeah.
not to think of like an Uncle Aaron moment. It is that kind of those stakes that change the game, right? It changes something in you because this changes. It's not just personal; it's her ghost, so it changes how you think of your powers and how BB interacts with everything, right? Like it gets in your head. So Pyre has the advantage, even if BB is probably more powerful. It's personal. You don't know, and this changes everything about you. So the revelation alone is threatening in battle.
Man. Yeah, that the action throughout this whole thing, like the page bash pulled up on the screen for the visual viewers here. Just the coloring was on complete display as always, like when the action's in this book. But yeah, even the first page, like just showing BB, she literally looks like she's shitting herself. Like she's like, oh my god, like I just like the facial expressions on that is awesome, and then like she's just right away, she's just in denial that it's him, which I really liked. Like she's like, no, this can't be him.
That's a good point. That's the
Yeah.
side of Bibi you don't see often. She's usually pretty sure of herself or showing she's usually either like mad or confident. And now this is the most surprised and element I think we've seen her.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like the contrast between the two hands. It's like a very like anime way, showing like the difference in power.
Yeah.
Very cool. Gives you a chance to flex like the colorist for once. And we talked about it, like, if you've seen our tweet recently about how Mattia Iacono is actually one of the most, well, we're talking about colorists in general, but I said Mattia is one of the most underrated ones generally speaking, because if you look at every issue of Dead Lucky, like there's so much heat in every single page, every single panel, in terms of the coloring and art and everything really, but the coloring really stands out. And in this page, you get to see like the contrast between the two, especially where he's standing here, it's more orange, and then she has a lighter background. And like you guys already mentioned, for once she's in a situation that's way beyond her control, and it's not just like a one where she feels like she's in control of herself, even because she feels like her faculties are letting her down because she doesn't even know what's real at this point. And I like that she immediately, like, her first reaction, her gut reaction here is like, he's not, this is not actually Ghost. Like, she doesn't believe it because she thinks she sees Ghost. But I also want to stress, like, well, yeah, that was it.
Makes me think of Luke. Like, it's like, oh, that's not true. It's impossible. Like, you know, it's that kind of energy with the electricity. It's like she's the emperor almost. You know, she has the power set at least, right? It's the dynamic. Also, like, yeah, Pyre's definitely going up our tier list for sure. Now that we've got, even just in like 2 issues since we've done it, like, definitely making his mark.
Yeah, I remember what I wanted to say. So Pyre didn't get the memo. The cargo pants are like out of fashion, but at least he's using it functionally. So I'll put that out there. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, he's bragging, right? Like a lot of like women's clothes, right? Doesn't have pockets. Like, look at all these pockets. It's basic, and he's manspreading as well, right? He's like, look how many I'm just kidding, but like basically, look, he's got. And I mean, and he's like, we don't know. He could actually have like stuff in those pockets as well. I have not noticed the cargo pants until now, and now that's all I can see.
I would hope he has
Instead
stuff
of the
in there.
gadget belt, he's got all those pockets, right? He's got everything in those. He's got a shark repellent in those. He's got everything. But yeah, no, that's awesome. And yeah, I just like the whole dynamic. I found it super interesting how like she's so in denial this whole time that this actually is Ghost, but at the same time he's throwing back all these little hints that okay, he actually knows if this wasn't him, he knows things that he shouldn't know, right? So I love that, and it just kind of puts that in perspective, and yeah, just really makes me question this guy's motives. Like, did he turn bad? Was he always bad? I love this character a lot.
See, up until this point, I was always under the assumption that the like spirits that Bibi sees are somewhat real, right? But now I'm starting to think they're figments of her imagination, or like she created them, kind of like how Wanda creates her kids in WandaVision. You know, like
Okay,
because if Ghost is really
okay,
there,
okay.
then she
I like that.
it's like maybe a
Like-
manifestation of her trauma or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Manifestation of her mind. I think that too. It
I
makes me
love
think a
that.
lot about Black Panther. How like there's like the spiritual side of that, and in the second movie, how Shuri is more like pragmatic, and she's basically an atheist. But then you get the spoilers for obviously Wakanda Forever. I'm sure most people listening have seen it. But then she sees Killmonger, right? And it's how she would visit, like probably the conversation she pictured in her head. That could be a spiritual experience, or that could be like what she saw and how it is in her mind, and hearing what her mind, like the depths of her mind telling her what she needed to hear at that time. I like that kind of psychological stuff where it isn't spelled out for you. We have time to speculate.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we get to see her too. She's a little weakness. She has a little weakness to his fire too. Like the Eddie didn't make the suit flame proof. So yeah, which is pretty crazy because like you would think like with these electricity powers, it would be able to take a decent amount of at least current, but heat too. So yeah, it really just shows how powerful he is. Yeah,
Well, it just shows how he has her number, right? He knows her weakness, sees her weakness in more ways than one.
it's true. That's true.
And for the fans of like the action-packed issues, like the first half of this issue is just all actions. There's just the two of them fighting each other, and which is fantastic because it gives the artist a chance to really show off, gives us some, I guess, a sense of closure in some sense because we found out for sure that he's not dead in the moment. But before then, she passes out. Big attack on him, launches like parts of cars and everything, all the debris on him. And before like she hits him, or right after she hits him, she passes out. But before she passes out, she says, "You're not him." So she's still reluctant, on the thought of him being alive. She thinks this is an imposter. And given like, I think in a sense, I can relate to that because given everything we've seen, like put yourself in Bibi's position. She's getting all these powers. Like she doesn't know shit about them. She's seeing like Radiant Black. She's seeing like Rogue Sun. She's seeing all kind of weird shit in the world now. So maybe she's starting to think like, okay, this could be something along those lines, right? It's plausible. And I definitely like agree with that train of thought, but I like her. I like that she's almost in denial. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I like kind of we get a little sneak peek real quick just back to the Morrow headquarters and just kind of learning more about San Francisco, and that like the Salvation Gang's been quiet on the streets, and kind of crime's been okay. But just showing that even the crime's getting a lot better, they're still not settling down on any laws. Like they're still not breaking the curfew that apparently Valentine or her partner, I forget her name, but she promised to take down the curfew. She's not doing that. So yeah, they're kind of showing their true colors here a little bit. And
Yeah,
I think
love the art
Valentine. You're talking about
change.
Valentine, the blonde one.
Yeah, is that Valentine?
Yeah, that's Valentine.
right? Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think Maxine is the one with the
She is, yeah.
glasses.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do we know, first of all, these flashbacks? I love the art change on this. I've just been kind of, it's really just reminding me of the tone, like I've just been going through the Last Ronin and like seeing kind of the flashbacks there of kind of the Eastman style art is very similar to this. Do we know who did this art? Was this,
I think
It's
I
French.
think it's also French.
Oh,
I think
really?
it's just French. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
he's
had
just
to
showing
change
his
this.
awesome range. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible. So
It
I
is.
love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
And
Yeah,
like
there's
the
only one
coloring by
artist credit.
Mattia is good, right? Like the to
Yeah.
highlight the sense of like a past, I guess, them being past, the context. But I just want to say, like, there's a sense of irony that they're both in Jordan, like back in the like right now, they're in Jordan in the present day where they're fighting, and then this like where the origin happened is also in Jordan. So that's kind of like a cool connection. Like it's a funny parallel when you think about it. But yeah, like this is something we've been looking forward to for a long time, I feel like, as readers, because like we've been talking about this for a while. Like what really happened that night? You want to you hear like conversations about the outcome or the results or how the person's been impacted, moving forward, but you don't really know what happened. And we finally get that story here and we see everybody, right?
Yeah.
See, I like how that's different from like the other two main titles, right? Because like Rogue Sun started with an origin story, Radiant Black started with an origin story, but we're finally getting it now with Dead Lucky in issue A, and it's paying off.
It reminded me of like Radiant Red, because like in Radiant Red, she's trying to get that, like there's a whole scientist involved as well, and I think, do they mention him again as well? I think they might mention that same scientist, but there's a scientist involved, and
Oh, they do, yeah,
like,
they do.
yeah, that compound that he made, the scientist, like that Radiant
Yeah.
Red takes that changes her in that one issue.
Oh, the
Like it makes
Mercury or no?
yeah,
that
the
was
Mercury.
Mercury S.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
Mercury
yeah,
S.
something like that. Yeah, that makes me think Owen's somewhere like just like citing it right away from his head, trivia champion stuff. But it made me think like similar to this, where it's like this could be something similar. Like this is like a vial or whatever, a compound or something that they're going to use. And once we see here in a couple of pages, this is what leads to Bibi's transformation. So I thought that was a cool parallel.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
getting like these last couple issues, we're peppering more and more into the origin story, and I think that's going to continue more into this arc as we add more and more details into this. And I think we're going to see Pyre's revival, and like this could be a Winter Soldier situation, right, where he's brainwashed. I mean, the people that bring you up bring you back to life, and then I don't think that comes without a price, right? So, who knows? We're going to get more light shed on that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And actually just like looking through the sequence here, like they didn't like nothing happens to this box. Like do you think someone intentionally planted this stuff to go off on these people for like maybe, I don't know, like experimental purposes or like by the government or something like that?
It moved a little bit.
It moved, no,
you
like
can
it
see
moved,
right
but
there,
like
there's, like, a
it didn't
little-
like it's not like the it creaked, I guess, and that's what I
Yeah.
guess that's what set it off, right? So I guess maybe they didn't strap
Or
it down well
was it
enough.
Bibi flying? It was Bibi flying, right? she was the one flying the plane.
Yeah.
I-
Okay. So yeah, I
yeah.
guess that little creak is what did it. So yeah, this thing was just stupid, fragile, I guess.
Very badly packaged, that's for sure.
Yeah, very badly packaged. They should have been strapping this thing down, man. Like come on. But
didn't
obviously
pay
they
for
didn't know
shipping.
what it was, so they didn't get a fair chance. So
Yeah, it was classified.
But I mean, you never know. I'm cool. I'm down for an experimentation theory, right? Because this is a tough platoon, and if you're gonna test out some compounds or something weird, right, you'd
Yeah.
want it to be on the best of the best.
for sure, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd
okay.
be kind of cool. And yeah, the colors here, the explosion, like it's very yeah, I guess now that I see it, I can tell it's French a little bit, but I just love like he's a lot more heavy on the pencils and stuff here, and it just looks incredible. Like the explosion here we get on the next page of the whole helicopter kind of just blowing into bits. all the coloring and all the pencils, like yeah, the really heavy pencils and stuff looks pretty sweet for this scene.
Mm. And like going forward, there's like a bit where we have the crash and stuff like that. The way they implemented the paddles is such. I think that's a genius way to add the
Yeah.
electricity element to it. I never would have thought about that, but that's kind of cool. That what's supposed to save you is what injects you with the special sauce. That
Right.
I don't know. I really thought.
Okay, now my question, I have a question for you guys, is when she does this, she electrocutes him. Do you think there's a possibility she like quote unquote actually like took his, not his soul, but like kind of the real ghost with him and kind of left like a different version of him there, not kind of fully into it?
Like his energy, like the energy, like whatever the
Yeah.
essence is, soul or whatever, she could have absorbed it, and that could have been what at least. That's an interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know, because something definitely does happen, like whether it just gives her electricity powers or it gives her like it's actually transferring something into her. Yeah, it's pretty intriguing for sure.
Plus, it could lead to powers manifesting on his end as well. If he's on the other end of that, he's so close to it. And she's zapping him. She got to burn the blast, but he's right there too. So he could have gotten like we see a ton of stuff like what the Hulk getting his powers, but then the leader is like isn't super strong, but he's malformed in his own way. So there's kind of stuff like that.
Well, see,
As
the
far
way
as
I
far as
took
we
it,
know, like as far as we know, there's just two of them that are covered in pink, right? It's like the rest are dead. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
particularly interesting.
Yeah, the other two didn't have a chance, they said, but we don't see a body, so who knows? Maybe they got off too. Maybe they got off too, and they're gonna be dressed in something else with water powers and air powers or something.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
Captain Planet going on, but
Yeah.
no, that would
do
be
that Avatar.
I think it'd be
Earth,
cool if
Wind,
we just if we just did it with one character. I think it's cool, but that's not a trick you can do like multiple times. I think it'd be fine if the other crew that they just passed away and this is we don't
I would
need
probably
that, but
agree with that.
yeah. But I'm sure there's a way it could work if we did do that. But either way, just being involved in the situation with the whatever that element is, it's not the secret of the ooze. I don't know what, but that could obviously they've been bonded beforehand, and on top of that, this element definitely changes it. And the trauma mixed with that could definitely influence the ghost that she sees as well, because obviously her PTSD is like at the core of this series as well, and how you deal with that.
Yeah, that's honestly, I think that's why right now I think I haven't even thought of that. Is I like Ali's theory for sure about the Wanda, like she's just kind of creating something, with her conjuring it with her own mind. I think that would be pretty cool. But what do you think, Bash? Do you have any thoughts on that? Or
I just think it's interesting that they're chasing the extract target. The reason they're both in Jordan is according to Pyre, is the scientist that made them. And now he's dead because they killed him, and Pyre didn't even want to kill him. Apparently, he was just trying to get to him first. So, I'm really like every time they give us some answers, the mystery also thickens, and right now I'm not entirely sure. So, but I am fine. Like I'm really happy. I'm satisfied with those explanation of how they got their powers, and I like that it keeps us in the it keeps us wondering like what exactly is going on here. I like Ali's theory. Yeah, I think it's like solid. It's better than anything I have right now. And
I think too, like we don't know the whole story with Pyre yet either, right? We don't know. I don't know. His story isn't acting up. That they took her out of there, but they somehow missed him. And then he says, "I woke up in a sand dune shard to a husk, but now he looks fine." Maybe the rest of his body has burn marks. I don't know, but something with his story isn't adding up. Like there's definitely some more to it. Whether it's a conspiracy or he has some kind of like mind control or memory loss. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Even his past, like when we first met him, like he kind of just pulled up and he was trying to just like he seemed like a very nice guy, but he was just trying to like get with Bibi right away, or that's kind of the impression I got. So yeah, who knows? Like maybe this has been a longer game than he's been expecting. But I think either way, I think if he had this plan before, or this just resulted in him changing after this accident, I'm totally down for both for sure.
Yeah, I liking how this story is progressing, to be honest. Obviously, the artwork here is fantastic. I really dig all the shots. the really close up personal shots of the characters is there. You get the sense of the conflict or the scale of this. It really feels like they don't know each other, even though they do know each other, because they both question each other. Even though he's more certain, or he's more sure of himself in terms of like knowing her, there's still an unpredictability factor because she's still questioning. She's like, "I saw you die, but this is the moment I really want to talk about this." She's like, "But then, right here, but then, who the hell are you?" And she looks at Ghost.
Oh yeah.
So that was just a really satisfying moment because I felt like for once, like Bibi relates to the reader. It's just like we both don't know shit, so it feels good. But I think this is gonna be the mystery that closes out the book if it does end up being 12 issues, because it's been solicited, 9 of 12, 10 of 12. So we'll see. Hopefully it keeps going, but I really don't know. So
I think it will. But if this or Rogue Sun, if they stop making them, like, go to Kickstarter, because I'll fund. I know 4 people that'll fund this. Like,
oh yeah,
100%. Like seriously, it'll be a bummer if it ends on this. If there's more story to tell, especially like if the writers have ideas and plot. What was that?
Where'd you see that says 8 of 12 or whatever?
It's on like all the catalogs, like the pre-order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
I guess our only hope. It doesn't say that on the book, so
Yeah.
it's kind of our only hope. Well, yeah, I kind of it would suck for sure, but I think if it's something that has to happen and it's kind of goes out on a high note, like that's better than just dragging it along just because like just because you want the
100%.
story there. So yeah,
agreed. And that's how Inferno Girl Red book 1 was, and everyone was super enthusiastic about a book 2, and now it's happening. So, and that was never in doubt.
I think it's almost like over half its goal already, right?
Oh,
I think so.
Like,
yeah,
also,
I think it's around like 70,000 plus. Yeah, the IGN article. Yeah, IGN did an article.
That's a big deal.
Like,
IGN's huge.
Yeah.
For IGN
so
to do that. Yeah, and the crowdfunding, just be able to do that is fantastic. Just to be a part of it, and I don't know. It's really nice. Plus the prints, that you can get 5 prints on top of that, which is like, I don't know. There's just so many bonuses involved. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, they've been adding more bonuses like every day. There's pins now that you can get, and there's you can get original art. You can get yourself drawn in. Super expensive, but if you have the money, it's super worth it. So it's pretty cool. You can put yourself in there. Unless you're Elon Musk, don't do that. Don't put yourself in there.
Also,
yeah, but I just want to say though, we can all pat ourselves in the back because we had a theory on the previous 2 episodes, about where Jimmy Moss was going with this. We had multiple theories, and I think this touches like both those theories, but we're kind of on the right track, because obviously we see here that the reason that they wanted to get to the extract first is because there's a vial which he's telling her about. That's the vial with the compound that gave them powers, and that's why he's saying the extract was the scientist. So clearly, what made it more interesting was this is the last vial out there. And we find out at the end of this issue that obviously the vial was being extracted for Jimmy Moss, who's now in a bathtub, like fetal birth position, almost, like, you know what I'm saying? Like ready to be reborn.
Yeah.
So
he's in the back of the tank. He's in the back of the tank, and he's going to tell us how he made friends with all the Tusken Raiders. Yeah. I like it. And he's hooked up, and obviously, like, he's not going to get electrocuted. He's not going to toaster himself because somehow they figured out how to make that work. And he's got the plugins. I do like how his body's modified. Like, we can do Bionic Man stuff. I want to see like Swiss Army knife stuff. Like, I want to see what Jimmy. I don't know if he's a combat kind of guy or he just wants to live forever, like Wayland Yutani or like Wayland in Prometheus or something. But we'll see. We'll see where we go.
Yeah, I love that. We've had a ton of questions about this guy. He's kind of like we've seen a little bit of him kind of come out, but he's for the most part he's just kind of been in the background, letting everyone do his bidding and stuff. But this is all what it's for, I guess. So yeah, he's definitely going to be coming in, and he gets his compound. Definitely not going to be a good thing. I'm curious what powers he's going to get. So yeah, that's should be kind of crazy, and like how is that going to affect like with his like cybernetics and stuff? Like, will that enhance all that stuff? Like, are we gonna see him like pull out an android arm or something out of his, like, who knows? I have no idea, but yeah, I have a lot of questions about this character. But yeah, he's super interesting, and it was an awesome cliffhanger for sure.
I bet he can absorb electricity. They'll be resistant to
No
electricity,
way.
no question. Absorb it or be resistant to it.
That's actually a very
He's gonna be a living
safe
battery.
bet, I would say.
That's
Maybe.
why she's gonna
Yeah.
need Pyre to finish the job. Need a
Yeah.
little bit of that burn.
Yeah,
don't know.
and that could make sense. Like it could not be like like the compound might not give like drastically different powers. It all might be kind of contained to the same thing because like that explosion happened. You had some electricity there, like obviously a lot of fire there. So yeah, I guess they could be pretty relatedly similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be pretty unfortunate for
He's
Bibi.
in the water. Maybe he
That'd
gets
be-
water-based powers.
That's a good point. It's a good guess.
That's true. That's true.
Moss
Yeah.
always
I
goes
think-
towards the sun. He grows towards the darkness. What are you saying?
Don't forget about
His
his
name
like,
is Moss.
enhancements,
Maybe he
too.
just becomes Moss thing. You know what I'm saying?
He'll
He
be a
just turns
monster.
into like the first swampy monster of the Massive. No, but I'm like all
Second.
for reals though.
Don't Finnegan.
Oh, that's true. That's true, Finnegan.
He's
so
kinda
for real
swampy.
though. Oh no, like 100%. You got me there. For real though, like I'm honestly excited for this because like we knew Jimmy was like gonna be one of the big bosses like of this book, if not the big boss. So it's like I'm really curious, or Big Moss, should I say? I'm really curious to see what he's gonna do in the next couple of issues. Like I also wonder, like, what are these spots on his skin? Like, was that always there? Is that like his previous synthetic like are those like
think,
synthetic
I think
improvements
those
or
are like
you
the
know?
things some athletes put them, and they make a bruise. That's what it looked like to me.
The cupping. He's
Oh,
cupping.
Like
Yeah, the
cups,
cup
yeah.
gears.
Some of
That's
those
what it
marks
looked
look
like to
like
me.
too like weirdly shaped though to me. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
can see
all
that, like,
over
some of
his
the
body,
back, but like,
bro.
yeah, you don't need
Yeah.
it like on your forearms and stuff.
Yeah, and your ears and shit.
We saw
yeah.
his neck had it, right? Like we saw him in the pool when he was first
Yeah.
introduced, right?
Oh,
Wasn't he lying in the
man.
back? So we didn't see his back. We didn't see. We weren't looking for how many like how many outlets, how many USB ports he had going. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah.
and even looking at it now, I don't know if it's like the reflection or the colors, but like even the water, like I don't know if that's
Yeah.
actually water or like it's kind of
No way that's water. That's
yeah,
regular
it's looking a
water.
little,
It looks like some
yeah,
solution or something.
green
Yeah.
and pink and yeah.
What was that thing in Dragon Ball Z where they put Goku in to get revived?
Hyperbolic time chamber.
Bro, you could
Well,
it's
just
his,
the
they're
Saiyans
milking
have the
him,
tech.
bro. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja style. They're just milking him, man. Like, straight in the tub. Like, but like no, like this is pretty funny. Like it's just a funny way to end an issue. Like not like the actual context or content of what's going on, but like the actual context, the way it's framed. It's just some dude in a tub, and like you're seeing it from right behind him. So you end the issue on some guy in the tub. You know what I mean? But like, yeah,
Imagine if it was the Geralt pose.
oh my god. Oh my god. Oh
Yeah,
my
I definitely
God.
wasn't expecting this cliffhanger going into this issue.
It's always the narcissist. I like that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a really good title, honestly.
Oh yeah,
That is
I'm down. We're it usually is that are it's always the narcissists that are trying to reshape society in their own way. I don't know if that's where we're going, but he is that guy who's like, I got the ideas, I know how, and that's why I think you'll have some kind of electricity based thing. Because if he wants all control, I don't know, it would be like Brainiac or what. But I think he'll be playing Mega Man Battle Network or being able to hook up to the wall and stuff. Who knows? So keeping your eyes open. Like I'm loving the clip of this arc right now, and like things have been heating up, and this direction has been really sweet for the series.
I love how Kane's just like not impressed. She's just like, I had to like look
She's
at my
never impressed. She's
creepy
never
ass
impressed.
boss. Yeah. I didn't sign up for this shit. Like dunking my boss in his like compound and getting him all like zooped up, Like this,
Well, there's
this
such
is
a
weird,
stigma.
honestly.
Such a stigma
Yeah.
for guys that want to take baths, right? Like I don't share how many baths I take just because I'm worried about how I'll be judged. So
I like is it just me or when I first saw this page, like the first thing that reminded me of was like playing Metal Gear Solid. I don't know why. There's a lot of creepy shit that happens in that game, and it's very similar to the way it's happening here with all the tubes and shit. And I'm just like, dude, this guy is
military
he's
experiments.
gonna turn
There could
into
be
some
clones.
weird shit. Yep.
You could be right on the
Mhm.
money with the Solid Snake stuff because legitimately, like we could be getting like clones, big bot. Like we don't know because like Pyre could very well be a clone. They could have taken his DNA. He was a burned up husk, and I don't think that plastic surgery's gone that far. So we don't know. I'm really interested to see. There's a lot of mystery.
All right.
All I'm saying is Jimmy Moss could have definitely used one of Marshall's bath bombs right there.
It's true.
100%.
Right up.
But yeah. Also before I forget to, another awesome recipe in the back. I saw someone actually make one online. I forget which one she made, but it looked delicious. It was some like tacos or something. Like it was it looked absolutely fantastic.
I keep hoping that we make the restaurant. Like I C2E2 next year. I want like a chai Mexico or whatever. I want that to be like a pop up and eventually a real restaurant. Kyle, get into Kyle, Melissa, everyone, let's get into the restaurant business. Like, screw it.
100%.
Definitely fun issue. Also, I do want to mention, like, I saw French on Instagram. He drew Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, so the Dragon Ball stuff is extra relevant, and his art style is so like sleek and distinct and stuff like that. I'm really starting to really like appreciate it more and more with all these issues.
Yeah.
I was just trying to pull up the image here, which I pulled up. So here's the image that Charlie was talking about. So it's Matt Cerniker. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but he's one of the guys from Comics Online. He does a lot of good articles, a lot of coverage, exclusive reviews, interviews. So check them out if you haven't. But here's what Charlie was talking about. So here was the carnitas that he made. And they just showed them off online. They look so good. And I think as a podcast, like, especially if we ever get together, we're definitely going to, here was the process. Yeah. We're definitely going to have to do this at some point because, like, not even like some of these recipes take forever. So it's an overnight process or something, but some of them are a little bit easier. And I definitely think we should try this one. It just looks delicious. And shout out to Sandra Wynn for the recipes and all her involvement in the book. She does a lot of cool stuff in the book, always promoting it, doing the recipes, doing a lot of other stuff. And just want to say thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
This was really cool.
This series would be completely different without Sandra. Like, completely.
Complete inspiration, right?
What was that, Charlie?
Shout out to her. No, I was just saying, she's the inspiration behind this character, right? So very, very awesome to have her just like involved, like on each issue for sure. It's really cool.
I do want to say before we go into speculation, but like I don't know if we're going there, but I think it'd be cool if like there's the way you remember the people you lost and then the way that they actually are. Like, we remember the people we love. We might have an idea of like the best possible vision of them. And I've lost people in my life, and I think, what would they think of me now? It's like, at the risk of sounding like a little crazy, but you do think of like, oh, how would this person think of these decisions in my life? And that could be a lot of what's influenced with this. And her healing was these projections of people. She has electricity and seeing your platoon, and she's got that guilt, right? And that can definitely be a big thrust for your emotions, how you're feeling, and your worldview. So I think that's something to keep an eye on going forward.
Yeah, sure. I think the more we talk about it, the more I realize like her immediate reaction is like she probably feels so guilty. The explosion, the other two are dead, that she just assumes in the moment that he's dead as well. So that definitely is plausible.
Like, what if I went back to check? Like, it's a lot to carry for sure.
And she was
piloting, don't forget to pre-order it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Walking Dead variants. I just wanted to bring that up. The Walking Dead variants. Every series has one. Like Dead Lucky. So many of the Image titles. We know the Massiveverse books all have them, and they're like really long connecting covers. They look awesome. So make sure you get your Dead Lucky pre-orders. I think it's for number 10. I'm like, I don't want to say for sure, but I'm like fairly certain
Bibi
it's
and
for
Andrew
number
on
10.
the cover.
Yeah.
Sniping.
Yeah, and you got like a month to pre-order it. So it's like you're just giving people reminders so they don't miss it. Yeah, so you got plenty of time. Put in your pre-orders. I believe for Dead Lucky number 9, the FOC is coming up in a week or so, and in a week from today, September 3rd. And it's only one cover, which is cover A by Rod Rice.
So that's
check that out.
One of the greatest ones. Obviously, Cal's very own. Just awesome. He really draws the bots and everything really cool. Even just the powers really gives off the blaze effect there. Kind of just drawing the lightning again a little bit. But yeah, great stuff.
Also, the only way we recognize a drought in Massiveverse content is the sheer amount of stuff that's come out in these last 2 years. It's been ridiculous, and it's been impressive, quite frankly. And we're getting delays so that Kyle and the team can do like basically two arcs of Radiant Black at the same time, which I don't think has ever been done, if so very rarely. So, we're going to be waiting, but the wait will be worth it. So, yeah.
Love it. Oh, you're muted, Bash.
Sorry. I was saying, I can't wait. I think October 11 is when we're slated to get new issues, but that could change at any given moment. Right now, that seems to be when our next wave of Massiveverse issues will come. Every single one got delayed, including Rogue Sun, No One, everything. So I think, don't quote me on this one. I'm fairly certain that for the month of September, I don't think we have any Massiveverse issues coming out. It seems to be only No One, and if that wasn't pushed back, then that might be the only one that's coming out in September. So unfortunate, but yeah, at least we'll get twice the Massiveverse with Radiant Black 27, like 26. Sorry, we'll get like twice the amount when you think about it, because it's two separate like stories, two different, two diverging stories. So yeah, pre-order your books, support the comic books. This is really important. You know, when you pre-order your books, you let them know that you love this series, and you let them know like to keep on making it. That's the best way for us to support the books. I was talking to a lot of like creators recently behind the scenes, just individually, about like different books. Like I started to like Drew Craig about like Savage Strength of Starstorm, and he was just like, you know, if you support the books, the best way to let your shops know you want more and for me to make more. So check out Savage Strength of Starstorm. If you like Radiant Black, Power Rangers, all that stuff, you'll probably like Savage Strength of Starstorm. It's a little bit similar, and it reminds me a lot of Invincible in a lot of ways. It just kind of hits you a lot all at once because there's so much happening. But if you're like a Power Rangers guy, I can see you really liking that. Like you just be like, oh my god, yes. But yeah, check that out. Make sure you check out the Kickstarter. That's so important. If we all talked about, everyone, not just us here on the podcast, but people letting us know, friends of friends.
Bear McCreary, for Christ's sakes. Bear McCreary's out there tweeting about it. Like
Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
Dude, that was so surprising, by the way. Like like Scott Snyder's like, oh, Kickstarter Virgo Red. I just back. I'm like, oh my god,
love that.
So go support it.
Yeah, and check out the Amazing Spider-Man. That Peter Palmer guy is pretty wild. No, I'm just kidding, but yeah, check out Dead Lucky, and we'll be back for probably months next. We'll be doing a live stream, probably the fan cast. I think that's a really fun idea.
Yeah, we'll probably do the fan cast sometime this month, September, and we'll see. You'll see us again for the next Massiveverse review episodes, all that stuff in October. Hopefully, if nothing gets pushed back even further. Until next time, everyone. We'll see you later. Stay radiant.